19 days, 41 episodes, plus a few deleted scene episodes. The Middle Lao Tour has come to an end. It is over, guys. Taking yous from Vientiane to Hoi Luke, Long San, Saisambun, Long Cheng, Mung Pasai, Ponsavan, Mung Kun, Mung Mok and Mung Mo. Finishing off there up into the mountains, the isolated villages and the bullfights. It is over. It is over. 4 months of bloody editing. Man, what a trip. Anyway, stick around. In this video I'm going to let you guys know how much a trip like that actually costs Neenee and myself to do. Without a doubt, my most favourite trip yet. Even though the Southern Tour was extraordinary in itself, there was just a lot of things going for the Middle Lao Tour, which I'll talk about after I get the costings out the road. What you guys have actually come here for. Well, I'm presuming you haven't come here to listen to me talk shit. Alright, 3 major costings I've taken into account for the trip. That is your transport, that is your accommodation and your feed. Number 1, your transport. For me and Neenee, it's the transport is always going to be the most expensive part of travel here. And for me and Neenee, it just includes fuel. I cannot give you a costing on what it costs to rent a SUV to do this trip. And I say SUV because if you want to go to the places Neenee and myself went to, you're going to need one. You can hire a smaller car and just stay to the main roads, but you won't be up there in the mountains visiting the Hmong and the isolated villages and the Khmer and people like that. Yeah, you're just not going to make it. You're just not going to make it. So all I've got in the costings as far as transport is how much it cost us in fuel for the trip. Come on, straighten the hell up, guys. I know it's New Year's, but as far as rentals in Laos, they it isn't real cheap. You can get, I do know you can get rentals from the airport, and there's an Avis in town, but you're looking at similar costs as what you'd be paying in the Western world. If there's anybody out there in Vientiane or even Luang Prabang for that matter who have had experience with a reliable, cheap rental car agency, or somebody who rents cars, SUVs in particular, in the major cities, you know, particularly where people fly in, enter Lao at so they can hire a vehicle, hit us up in the comments below. Let others know and let me know so I can pass the info on to these people coming in, because as I said, I've never rented a vehicle in Lao, never needed to, so I can't help you out there. All my videos are done on the experiences I have. I do not go around getting prices just to create a video. It's not what my vlogs are about. So I cannot tell you how much it's going to cost you for this trip. Ballpark figure, you're looking at 19 days. It was $1,000 to $2,000. That is a fair whack of your trip. I just wanted to get that out there straight away. So that leaves fuel for us for the entire trip. We fueled up at Vientiane, in Vientiane, 600,000 kip. For the sake of this video, 10,000 kip is $1 US. It's around there, you know. It's around 11,000 kip is $1 US now. Before COVID it was 9,000 kip, but just to make things easier to round up, 10,000 kip is $1 US. So 600,000 kip filling your car up is $60 US. Saisambun we filled up again at 590, so another $59. And then Mung Mo, before we came home, we filled up again there for 535,000 kip for a total of $172.50 US dollars for the entire trip. It cost us in fuel $172.50. The accommodation, guys, as you have seen on all our previous trips, it's usually guest houses, and that is just about all you will find on these back out of the touristy destination trails, away from the tourist spots. You know, if you're used to traveling and staying in luxury hotels, or not even luxury, 3 and 4 star places, you're not going to find it. You know, if that's what you want, it's probably best that you don't do this sort of traveling, because you're not going to find it. You know, these guest houses are basic. You know, 90%, I will state, but 90% of them do have sitters. You know, very rarely they'll just have a squatter. I think out of all the places we stayed at, there was only 2 with a squatter. The very first one, Loy Hoot, and in Vientiane. But the prices reflected that also. In Vientiane it was only $6 for the guest house. But we'll get that. I'm just letting you know. You've got a roof over your head, you've got a bed, you've got Wi-Fi, you've got hot water, and you've got a sitter in 90% of the cases. Oh, an aircon. I don't think there was a place we stayed at. In some places you do get the choice of aircon or not, and it is cheaper without aircon. So, and depending where you're travelling and what time of year, you may not need the aircon. Anyway, getting to it. The average price, similar to the southern trip, you're looking at 70 to 80,000 kip a night. Starting at Hoi Luke, one night there, 70, I'm going to say it in dollars, just to get this over and done with quicker. $7. Long San, 3 nights there at $9 a night. Saisenbun, our first night there, we stayed in an $8 place next to a restaurant, then moved up on the hill, and beautiful views overlooking. It was probably the best place we stayed in the whole trip, and that was only $15, you know, by 2 nights. On to Long Cheng then, 2 nights at $8 a night. Mung Pasai, where the Plain of Jars are, 2 nights there at $8 a night. Ponsavan at the Janita guest house, where we always stay when we go to Ponsavan, get well looked after there and close to everything. 3 nights there at $8. That's 3 nights in a great location, and they've got everything there, and you get well looked after for $24 bloody dollars. $24. Okay, after that we were back on the road. You know, we chilled out in Ponsavan and just rested for a while. Mung Kun, 1 night, 80,000 kip, $8. Vientiane, that was where we only had a squatter, but we did, you know, even though the room was small, we had a roof over our head, we had aircon, we had all the other amenities, and she looked after us, fed us whatever we liked. You know, she had her own restaurant. So that was $6 for the night. On to Mung Mot, our last destination then. It wasn't going to be. This was only about halfway through our trip, but as you've seen throughout the series, the COVID picking up, and then we were warned everything was about to lock down. It was our last destination. We stayed there for 2 nights. 1 night longer than what we thought we would, because we did find out they were going to have bullfights there, so we stayed there. All those nights were 19 nights on the road. 19 nights. Those 19 nights totaled $160. $160. You'd be going, you wouldn't even get a 3-star hotel in Sydney for that. No way. So between the fuel and the accommodation so far, we're up to a total of, for a 19-day holiday, what's that? $332.50. Is that correct? It is correct. It is. My brain still does work. Happy New Year, Todd. How surprising is that? Back to our meals. Well, not back to them. Let's get to them. The last couple of travel trips, me and Neenee have been travelling away. We've been packing our own bag of breakfast, taking away oats, little containers of milk. You usually get them in 8 packs. We usually take a couple of them. Oats, we got fruit, we got our little bags of coffee, because these guest houses don't serve breakfast, and to save waking up and having to get dressed and go into the markets or wherever to find breakfast, we've just got it there with us. Plus it saves money. Oats aren't expensive. We don't do it for the money saving. It's bloody healthy to start with, and it saves a lot of time and a lot of mucking around. So we're not including that in the costing. We've already purchased that before we've gone. Once we're up and at 'em, plan our day, we usually stop at the markets on the way in to wherever we're going, and we'll get, you know, some sticky rice, some dried pork, some dried beef, some more fruit, so just some snacks like that, some water, and we will snack on that throughout the day. The only place we're really looking for a restaurant, a sit down meal, is when we've come back at the end of the day. You'll usually see us there at the restaurant. I've ordered me pad kapow or Lao steak. We're sucking on a couple of long necks. That is usually the only meal that I can give you a good bill for. You know, the sticky rice we bought in the middle of the day, you can get a good bag of that for 50 cents, you know, $1 on the dried pork. You know, we'll probably get a couple of those. There's $2. But what I'm saying is, these meals at the end of the day that we have, I don't think any of them totaled over 100,000 kip, which is $10. That includes the beer. You know, a couple of meals, you know, 25 to 30,000 kip each, and then a couple of long necks. You know, a long neck of beer is, you know, usually 11,000 to 15,000 kip. You know, $1.10 to $1.50. You know, and most of the time it was just one. Sometimes we felt like chilling more. It was 2, but it doesn't total over the $10 for that meal. So the whole day of spending, I'm going to be generous here and say we budgeted for $20 a day, which we wouldn't have spent over in food. $20 a day at 19 days, looking at $380 there. So food has actually, eating like that and as cheap as it is in Laos, food has cost us more for the 19 days than what the fuel and accommodation has combined. Go figure. Go figure. So the $332 with the fuel and the accom, plus the $380 on the meals. So that covers all our food for each day. $712.50 we are up to. Anything else after that is just miscellaneous sort of stuff. A couple of waterfalls we went into, you know, and you're looking at 10,000 kip, $1. The most expensive outlay we had was in Long Cheng, which was 40,000 for the tour guide. And I will state, guys, if you do travel to Long Cheng, it is very wise, as soon as you get in there, go to the cultural hall. Ask where the cultural hall and information center is, and they will point you. In the video I actually point to it and show you on a map where it is. Go in there and let the people know you're in town and what your intentions are, you know, just so they know there's new people, and they can tell you what you can see and what is available and be able to help you out there. I do recommend paying for the guide, because you're not going to get into some of these places and view them without a guide. So yeah, such as Vang Pao's house and that. Once you've done that, you're very free just to practically go anywhere in the town. And that's what surprised me most about Long Cheng. I did not think we would have the freedom to wander around there as much as we did, and how welcoming the people were there. As you've seen in the videos, how happy they were just to see, you know, not to see a foreigner there, you know, well, how welcoming they were towards, me, I guess. It's something I did not expect. I expected to be standing back, staring, looking, but in the traditional Lao way, they welcomed you with open arms. I'm getting sidetracked. Longcheng. Make sure you register when you go in there. Just let the people know at the cultural hall you're in town, and they will take care of you. And I would recommend it in small places such as Mung Mo. In one of the last videos, I mentioned how we were tapped on the shoulder, and he wanted to make sure we were vaccinated, my visa and documentation was in order, and to let us know what was happening. He may have thought we were unaware what was happening in the world at the time, well, Lao in particular. We had been keeping our fingers on the pulse a bit, but he was just letting us know shit's about to hit the fan, and it did. We did get home within days of everything just shutting down, and everything was shut down for a couple of months. You could not go between provinces without permission notes and things like that. He did give us a good heads up, and these people know where all the good spots are. Once we were there, showed him our documentation and things like that, we found out there was more villages in other directions. There was river caves, all these things that haven't been established yet for tourism, but he could arrange somebody to take us to. So it does really help to let the authorities know when you are in a small town like that. So the costings to enter the parks, plain of jars. I think the most there was 2,000 for me and 10,000 for Neenee at one, and then 10,000 and 15,000 at the other for Neenee and myself. They're not expensive to get in, so it is very cheap travelling off the beaten track in Laos if you have your own vehicle. So I am asking if there is anybody out there that could help us, point us in the direction. If you have your own business, renting out reliable SUVs or even sedans, people who just want to travel the main roads of Laos, let us know in the comments below so I can give people a heads up. People are going to start coming into this country soon. Maybe they will want your business. I'm sure not everybody likes just going to the tourist destinations. A lot of people today like to go and do their own thing and explore for themselves. It is hard in a country like this when you don't have your own vehicle, and if they can get these vehicles at a reasonable price, it would go a long way to them having an awesome vacation. So that's it. That is the costing. It was less than $1,000 for 19 days on the road. $712. $712 for me and Neenee. Accommodation. Incredible, isn't it? Okay. Right. Some of the standouts to me. What was the best part of this trip? Why was Middle Lao so good? Why was it so good? It isn't what I expected. It wasn't what I expected. There is a number of things why. I think maybe the number one thing that really stood out was I wasn't driving all day just to get to another destination that completely blew me away. It was, we're only an hour or so out of town when we hit Hoi Lu. And the people there, we were straight into the jungle as soon as we turned off route 13. And then from there, it was Long San. But what I am trying to say is that it was a short trip. And we did not have to travel far for things to completely change and completely blow you away. My favourite experience of the trip, Mung Mung, it's hard. It's hard. I'm torn between many places of which to choose. But if I was to pick one to go back and explore, I think I've explored a lot of Longcheng. Yeah, there's not much more else to explore there. Mung Mok, beautiful rice fields where the people catch the birds and things like that, but that's it. It is just a very pretty place and masses of rice fields. But as far as things to do that would keep you entertained and keep you busy would be Mung Mo, Ban Nakhon, the last village where the bullfights were, where we left, followed the river up into the mountains and visited the Hmong villages. There is many Hmong villages just scattered along that mountain range near the Vietnam border up from Ban Nakhon. Rivers all through that place. Like I said, the police officer said there's river cave systems and things like that. We have only scratched the surface of exploring that place. We went out there up into the Hmong village and there was 3 beautiful unique villages that we found. The 2 Hmong villages up the top, the Khmer villages on the way back. Were they Khmer or Taipuan? It was Taipuan, the ones that had the big coconut palms, the very last video. All different, and that was all in one day's trip, just on one dirt road. You have a look on the map, there's lots of dirt roads scattered high in those mountains. So if there's one place I'd like to go back to and explore some more, it would be Mung Mo. And how can I not mention Sasenbun? Sasenbun would have to be one of the most ruggedly raw, beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. Seriously, with those high mountain peaks, Pubia off in the background, and just those cast stone mountains and the river running through, and how bloody green it was. $15 for that hotel overlooking that magnificent valley and mountains. What a style. In awe of that place, just its beauty and how sparsely populated it was. Driving off when we went to see the villages and the Hmong out of town, there wasn't many villages along the road. You had to drive a fair while before you did find any people, before you seen anything moving on the road really. But no matter where you went, how far you travelled around Sasenbun, you always had those gorgeous mountains looming over you. They made you feel so insignificant, and such an awe-inspiring feeling. So pretty, so pretty. I'm just dribbling now. I've given you the information you guys have come for. It was just over $700 for food, accommodation and fuel. Sorry I could not help you with car rental costs. You're looking between $60 to $100 a day. Start adding Lao people to Facebook, especially ones that have SUVs, becoming friends with them, and maybe they'll lend you a vehicle when you do come visit. Or maybe they have friends they could rent you on. That is the biggest cost, isn't it? You add the cost of an SUV rental from the airport on top of that, and you're looking at $2,700, and not just $700 of what it cost us. Anyway guys, that is it. Thank you very much for all the support during the Middle Lao Tour. Everything's up in the air at the moment. We've got some little trips booked in with friends and things like that, but we haven't got any dates set for any big travel tours. We will no doubt be doing them. So I've still got a Puxi trip that Neenee and myself went on in October. There's a few videos in there I've got to edit. I'll be back to basics after that, just editing more daily life sort of videos, just around here at the restaurant, bike tours, things like that, and keeping you up to date with what is going on with gaining entry into Laos, as that would have started a couple of days ago. So as that progresses, I'll be no doubt we'll have more information on how people are getting in, whether they do have to stick to a tour group or not. Stay tuned about that. That's all I have today. Third day of the new year. I hope you're well. Take care.
Come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart. Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Now let's go back to the start. Running in circles, coming in tails, heads on the sides apart. Nobody said it was easy. It's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be this hard. Oh, take me back to the start. Oh, take me back to the start. Oh, take me back to the start.